Hello everybody and welcome back to Broden Plays Torment. That's what I'm calling it. So we just found out that we went into the city and we were called making our way to the shield generators and we cut them off. The Nano who defeated you was a changing god. He and his children still live. His voice is flat and dead. Others have claimed this. I do not know if they say this to torment me, but if our enemy was a god, even if he was once but a man, then to stand against him is to spit in the face of the divine. The Tabat were a holy people. Humans do not believe it, but our rites were as sacred to us as they were profane to your kind. We accepted the will of the ineffable. Any who still live may yet find the mantle of godhood. To be divine is to be beyond the rule of mortal ethics. Those who would be gods must cast aside these concerns if they are to turn against the old teachings. Tell me more about the shield generators. I told you they're Fet. They immured the city in time. They severed our supply lines. They left us vulnerable and defeated us. The Underspine's strategy failed us. I began to doubt. The generators are unused, abandoned, their purpose forgotten, though the people of this city still swear by our name, and our terrors are fresh in their nightmares, despite the passage of centuries. They have forgotten the names of their salvation. This one, beside me, no longer functions. Ah, this guy, okay. But one of the others is buried in the ground, not far from here, and not yet failed. It powers the clock around which those ridiculous fools prance. How do they stop you from trying to escape? The Nano who raised the city's shields created a device. He called it the Mind Seer. With it, he violated my mind, my memories, and everything that was at the core of my being. In a fit of vengeance, he tore truths from me. He made me betray my people. He rewrote my mind. He gave me perfect clarity into the past and gilded my ability to shape the future. The Tabat never sought revenge against foes who were mightier than we. We devised stratagems to defeat them. We tested ourselves. We did not punish or hate. Punishment was purification. This, though, is torture. The worst of the city's refuse can mock me now. They can ridicule and jape, and I am powerless to strike them for their impudence. And now they do not even do that. I have become a fixture, an irrelevance, a non-entity. It's really sad, actually. What a good team, huh? I am a slave to, you hear his teeth grinding as he thinks for the perfect insult, to peacemakers. I must endure their presence and feel their corruption sink into me daily. Some foreign part of me desires it. He thumps his fist into his hand. But I remember that I will triumph over them. Eventually, they will die, and I will not. Okay. Who are the Tabat, I suppose? My people, great warriors, we own this land. We served the Underspire, and it served us. We sought truth and victory. We ascended. Ah, ascension, huh? To epiphany. We were pure, incorruptible, indivisible even in disunity. We found strength in one another and proved it with bloody blades. But we fell, and the Underspine fell, and so, too late, we learned a new truth. But I carry the old ways as a seed within my heart. Tell me about the Underspine, please. Our slave, our god, our prize. It kept us holy, kept us pure and unchanging. Anchor to a fixed point. The world turned around us, but we remained constant. Where the world brought inconsistency, we fed it blood. The Underspine was our soul, our confessor. We knew clean, hard rapture from it. We knew our path. It gave us the words of the ancient Tabat, and our path was rigid and unbending, absolute. We had no questions about our duty, about our goals, only the particulars. We raised doubts in the purity of utter certainty. Questions raised are questions answered, or they are heresy. No need for self-agony. The necessity of introspection was transmuted into optimization of our paths, into fashioning ourselves into the pinnacle of our achievement. Clear definition in life creates awaits truth, not this pitiful shadow. That's very interesting, actually. If your path was unbending, it's no wonder you broke. Oh, red tide, huh? I do not bend now. I have been driven down, but I do not bend. I live, and those stood against me are dead. He turns away from me slightly. You have more questions, or do you release me? What was the Underspine? You would not understand. It was a machine, it was a stone, it was a cavern, it was a city, it was the direct voice of our ancestors. It spoke in our heads, and in our ears, and in our hearts. We heard its voice in our crutches, in our daily instructions. Our God was true and strong and singular, not the fickle, inconstant things of the modern day. Not the Underspine. Sabotage or failure. One of those under my command told me that it had whispered defeat into his ears, as if it had sickened, lost sight of the true path. Given the question, the Underspine denied this. My soldier was cast out, and I suffered the barb for his doubt. It was later, years later, that the Underspine broke, after our failure, and I have never been sure if the seeds for our defeat were planted in those days. The Nano who captured me, who nailed me to time, he used the Mind Seer to ferret out the Underspine's location. I do not know if he ever found it in the world. He raped a genocide from me, and mocked me with his sobriquet. I was not to blame. I will stand before the Underspine and swear my innocence. Why are you the last of your kind? I know of no others. Kalit Anvor, he who stares truth and understanding, is dead. Vostulelo, the blinding light of reason, was destroyed. The Underspine has fallen, my people are destroyed utterly, and our servant God speaks to us no longer. The clean lines of order and the glory of battle have forsaken us. The rest are dust. We rose against a superior foe and were outmatched. Only I remain to tell the story of the Tabat. No, I wish you no good tidings. Okay. So this is broken. This machine towers above you like a dagger driven into the ground by a giant. It seems much older than the surrounding buildings. Your hands itch to touch the array of dark panels scattered around the machine, as though they have touched them before. Damn it. Your hands slip over the cobbled-together components of greasy cables, the buttons worn by frequent use. It is a strange accomplishment, this machine, clumsy but deft, amateurish but masterful. Only a brilliant mind could have melded so many disparate parts into a functional device. Unfamiliar memories whisper to you this device was used, though you don't know how. It generated a field that unmoored everything within it in time itself. Your fingers scrape a rough patch. Lifting them, you see a circumnate symbol etched into the side like a maker's mark. Try and see why this feels so familiar. Ah, yeah. You close your eyes to better concentrate, sinking into the currents of a memory that does not belong to you, or at least not the body you are in. And you hear the thunderous heartbeat of the operational generator calling you from across centuries. You open cold, focused eyes, ignoring the screams, the drifting tangles of black smoke. Your attention is solely focused on the health of the machine's heartbeat. You reach into the hissing guts of the generator, adjusting and tuning, hoping. The heartbeat fades into the past. Your body's hand, rests on the rusty surface of the long-dead generator. Interesting. Can I talk to you about that experience? Well, that's genocide. Is there something in these rocks? A jumble of boulders and debris lies at the foot of the surrounding cliffside. The broken remains of ancient devices lie amongst the fallen stone, while off to one side a metallic canister sticks out of the top of the pile. It appears mostly intact. Let's examine it. Leaning over, you notice that the container is hollow, with an opening in the top providing full access to the interior. A quick glance reveals that it is empty. While most of the canister is relatively intact, a small part of the exterior wall has been pried open, exposing delicate mechanisms. Let's scavenge what we can from the canister. You fully depleted one of your stats. Okay. Hey, I gained 52 shins. You notice a slight gleam as the light hits some of the rocks at just the right angle. You lean closer. Tiny mechanical devices are embedded in the rock. A quick search of the rest of the pile reveals that only a small percentage of the rocks are more than they appear. Try putting the rocks in the canister. You scoop up a handful of the remaining smaller rocks and place them in the canister, but nothing happens. Smash the stones to extract what you can. Dominant tides have shifted. How so? You try bashing a few of the stones with other larger stones from the pile, but only manage to chip off useless bits of rock. You pick up a large rock and beat it down with all your might on a stone you haven't tried yet. Upon impact, you are blinded by a flash of light and a deafening sound. When you can see again, the stones have all been pulverized to a fine dust. What the? +1 training level in quick fingers? Permanent? You notice a severed finger lying on the ground. Your eyes dart to your hands, but all 10 of your digits appear to be intact. You pocket the gruesome trophy.
Yes.
So I failed that, but I got something awesome out of it, huh? Inside a small, well-made box, you find a finger resting lightly on velvet bedding. That is disgusting, by the way. The humanoid finger has been partially hollowed out. Synth wiring courses through it, keeping the skin taut. Peculiar pictographs decorate the matte black box. A humanoid, after having eaten the finger, performs feats of juggling, drawing, and playing a violin. An additional set of cautionary pictographs greatly discourages severing a finger and placing the prestidigitator in its stead. So let's use it. I ate it. I ate the finger though.
Yes.
Caricature. So I have more quick fingers, huh? Cool. Yeah, I'm not very good at deception. I'm glad I didn't try and decept that guy. Alright. Quick fingers, man. I'm all about it. I'm almost to level up. So, where do we find out, like... I'm red. Here we go. Dominant tide, silver red. The silver tide represents prestige, power, and renown. People attuned to this tide desire admiration and respect, all the more because of the influence it gives them in the lives of others. Leaders, celebrities, heroes, and aristocrats are often attuned to this tide. Ah, great, I'm Donald Trump. Alright. I like how the portrait changes. Now it's red and silver. That is so cool. What an awesome thing.
Alright.
Alright, let's see what we can do here. Can I interact with this stuff again? Ah, it says I can, right? Ah, leave them alone, I guess.
Yes.
Save the game, though. In a minute. Let's examine this. Small, vandalist phrases are etched into the lower portions of these statues. Declarations of love, defamatory attacks, and announcements of localized existence whispering in stone from across the centuries. So I'm under the impression this stuff has been here a long, long time. Well, let's try an interaction with this.
Alright.
What's this do? The structure is embedded in the ground. It was clearly not made by the same people who built Circus Minor. It looks as though the device extends deeper into the ground below the road. Weathered ruins are spread across the device's surface. They believe it now, I suppose. Changing God Cultist. It's like me.
Go.
I'm the Changing God. Belizar. This thin, fidgeting Aeon priest shoots furtive, sidelong glances at the creature in the nearby quote-unquote cage, while humming a nonchalant tune. When he sees that you are watching him, he flinches. Over the course of a few frantic breaths, shock becomes embarrassed anger, and he opens his mouth to shout at you. There must be a way, but how? You never leave it alone. What? Yes, what is it? What is so goddamn fascinating about me that you feel the need to stare? You seem nervous. I'm not. His eyes stealing to the cage creature again. I just don't like it when people sneak up on me. What do you know about the creature over there? What? He says, jumping. Then he takes a breath and struggles to sound offhand. It's a Numenera, a biomechanical creature, an information gatherer, in fact. He seems to calm down as he warms to the topic. They're dangerous, though. You can only speak to them at night. During daylight, they'll attack you without provocation. You're planning something, aren't you? Frowning at your words, Belizar turns to regard you. Then he notices your tattoo, and his eyes go wide. I've heard of people like you. What are you doing? No, never mind. You just asked me. I mean, he trails off and seems to reach a decision. I'm working on something dangerous, and it would be an honor if you could lend your assistance. Scan thoughts. I get the feeling she understands me. He glances around the plaza, as if looking for spies, and beckons you to him. I have a device, he says in a hoarse whisper, that can probably be heard from meters away. If someone can get close enough to affix it to the creature's cage, it will activate and teleport the guy to the wreath of the fallen worlds. He snickers and rubs his hands together, and then... Scan thoughts. And it's an insane plan, yet how else can I make a name for myself? Greatness demands risk. Study it. In a manner of speaking. Biochemical organisms fascinate me, and Nycthremoros doubly so, or doubly so. I've never gotten to examine one up close, so I want you to teleport the creature out of its cage, kill it, and bring me your memory organ. You want me to kill it for its brain? Isn't that murder? Gold tide rate a small amount. Please, Belizar says, rolling his eyes so hard you're surprised you can't hear them squeaking in their sockets. It's a machine, it's not alive. If it makes you feel better, tell yourself you're deactivating a faulty device that will defend itself with lethal force. Sounds too easy. If it were that easy, I would do it. But the creature's captors protect its cage, and well, they've already caught me once, but they won't be watching you. Tell them you wish to see the beast, and plant the device when they're not watching. And if you get caught, don't tell them I sent you. They said they'd lodge a complaint with the order. They're also the part about killing it, but she doesn't need to think about that yet. Alright, give me the device.
Updated my journal.
Here it is, he says, handing it over, nervously licking his lips. Be very, very careful. I don't have another one. Belizar gave you this small device to attach to the cave that holds the Nycthremoron. He promises that it will teleport the Nycthremoron to a place of his choosing, but it will not work on anything else. Okay, cool. I'm going to immediately turn you in. In front of you is a weary traveler whose grim visage is mostly obscured by a pointy hat. Upon closer inspection, the lines on his face indicate he has seen much and has many tales to tell. Hello there, friend. Here to see the thing? My friend in the cage over there, or are you just looking to spread a word or two? Yes. Yes. Indigo Tide. The young idiot. We caught him fiddling with the cage before, and I thought I'd scared him off. Apparently not. He sighs and pockets the device. I understand him better than I like. We build our lives on the kindling of our ambitions, and hope for a bonfire before something blows it out. He shakes his head. I made a study of the Nycthremoron during the journey here. If that little fool had only asked, I might have shared my findings with him. You still can. Let him learn from your experience. Hardly seems fair, but you're right. I'm not a young man, and it'd be good to know I helped someone along the path before He stops himself and continues. Before I left town. He reached into his bags and handed you a bundle of well-worn notes. Then he glances over your shoulder. Trouble coming, friend. Beliziar is stomping towards you, and he looks furious. I trusted you, he shouts. Frustrated tears shimmer at the corner of his eyes, refusing to fall. Algento steps back to a discreet distance, an expression of sadness crossing his face. You think you've won? He hisses. One tear escapes and streaks down his bony cheek. You think this is the first time I've ever been betrayed? Panting with rage, he jams a finger in your face. I'm going to tell the Order the truth that you've betrayed an Aeon Priest on a secret mission. Everyone is going to know you can't be trusted. Here's the notes,
I'll
dude.
remember that.
Hold out the notes, and Beliziar snatches them from your hands. As his eyes widen, you explain how you got them. This is more than I expected to learn on my own, he says, flushing. All the time spent on subterfuge, I could have just asked. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you. He shouts at El Gento. The seasoned explorer cringes and gives him a little wave. Beliziar hands you your reward, then wanders away, flipping through the pages. Got a Psychic Guard, Gold Tide, +1 trading level, and Cipher use skill. Nice. That's what's up, guys. Snitches get rewards, not stitches. Can I tear up yet? Ooh, gold and blue. Look at that. Blue Tide is wisdom, reason, and enlightenment. People attuned to this tide seek information about the preservation of knowledge in all forms, whether scientific or spiritual. Cool. The Gold Tide represents empathy, compassion, and sacrifice. Awesome. That's what I want to be. Let's equip this on our ornament. So now we can have 4, I believe, ciphers. Oh, we can have 5. What? Nice. I have some questions about you. He's far from mine friend, as you'll likely see if I get too close to his cage. Go on, ask your questions. What is it? A biomechanical union of stubborn curiosity and frothing malice. Who made them, no one can say, but they cannot be trusted or befriended. Cross their paths or thwart their incomprehensible whims, and they'll kill you if they can. What do you plan on doing to it? We're likely to release it and run as if every kind of demon in the world is after us. We're not trappers, see? We're explorers. And we're only in this to save up some coin for a journey across a long patch of ground. He rubs the back of his neck. Not that our motives make much difference to our guests. He'll want to boil our skins once we let him go. And I can't say I blame him. Or our guest, okay. We should do it at night, but even then, I expect he'll try to kill us. How did you capture him? I suppose you could blame luck. Little early to call it good or bad, though. I was working on, well, call it a trap, in a valley through some nameless ruin. Xanadu was off hunting for dinner, and I work in a daze. Always do when I'm concentrating. Near sunset, the trap was still in pieces, and I heard Xanadu roaring my name. I turned just in time to see our guest bearing down on me. The creature's volley of molten energy cracked off the personal barrier I'd left active while building the trap, but I knew it couldn't hold. Then Xanadu leapt off the valley edge onto the back of this thing, bashing it with his hammer. It shrieked, and then night fell and the creature went still. I worked, a touch frantically, I admit, to finish the trap. It hadn't been designed for our guest, but as you can see, it worked. Lucky it did. It gives me a lot of confidence for our trip back to La Rook. Fair question, but a longer answer. And not as interesting as I'd like. So let's just say the trap is more collapsible than it appears. Huh. Alright, so you call it a he. Could be female or genderless or many-gendered, who can say? I have our friend imprisoned, and I feel better about the fact that if I don't call him it. Okay. You must be in desperate shape if you're patrolling the circus, talking to strangers. Do you have a piece of the device? It might be that I can offer my opinion. New device, perhaps I could use it to improve the trap. Can you come look at this device? Canadu would never forgive me if I left him alone. He might end up having to talk to someone. When that happens, he's in a mood for days. He rubs the back of his head. I take it that means you don't have one on you? Are you sure I can't convince you? Not a chance. I'm needed here. I don't have a piece. Help you fix something I've never seen. Sorry, friend. Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to get him to fix either.
Go.
Hey, buddy. You inch closer to the lattice of energy that holds the creature, and as you lean in, the ugly glaive with a sledgehammer slung over his shoulder shouts at you. Oi, no gawking for free. Pay El Ginto or get gone. He glowers at you, hand reaching for the haft of his hammer until you step away from the cage.
My journal. Of course.
Alright, Canadu, I'm gonna talk to you. Slow day. Good. Nothing wrong with a slow day. Nothing to see here until you pay El Gento. El Gento will tell you about it. Okay, fine. He hates sane stuff, I guess. I'm gonna pay this guy to look at this thing. Curiosity does you credit, friend. It will only cost you 25 shins. Okay.
I'll remember that.
Worth every shin, I promise. Visit our guest whenever you're ready. Okay.
Yes.
Into which the creature floats is a simple frame that contains a shimmering, nearly transparent cylinder of energy. It emits a low hum, barely audible. Whoops. You approach the cage cautiously. The monster within looks like a fungal blob, matted with a muscular ichthyoid. Its multiple tentacles terminate in syringes, needles, and injectors. Okay, so those come from him? I feel like? This mass sits atop and is integrated with a floating orb of some type. It seems to be both mechanical and biological, with one system flowing smoothly into the next. A creation from some mad nightmare. The energy field darkens protectively and automatically as the creature throws itself at its walls, thrashing and striking mindlessly with its needle-tipped tentacles. The darkening is almost a strobe-like effect. Even as you watch, one of its tentacles coils back and blasts furious plasma at the wall of its cage. The cage holds, but the shield's dim to prevent any radiation from the blast from escaping. I've seen enough hentai to see where this is going. What are you? If anything, the creature redoubles its efforts to strike at you. How did you come to be here? It draws away from the edge of the energy field for a moment as if gathering its thoughts, and then it launches itself at you, rebounding off the deceptive solidity of the cage. Its tentacles flail wildly, the needles at their tips glinting and oozing. What can you tell me this place? Do you understand me at all? Alright, your closer examination reveals a small panel worked cunningly into the frame of the cage. Some of the filigrees here are worn and smooth, as if slowly eroded by friction. Perhaps these are the controls. The cage's hum dips lower for a moment, throbbing almost at the limit of your hearing. Your bones and teeth ache briefly, and everyone within 3 meters of the cage claps their hands to their ears. Are you trying to kill us all? Leave the cage alone! He shoves you away from the cage. Do you even know what'll happen if that thing gets free? Touch the cage. You reach out to the cage, your fingers hovering over some of the cunningly worked materials. and then you lay your hands on the cage. You close a circuit in the energy somewhere, where you become a part of it, and strange energies flow through your body. The shock hurls you away from the cage. People are calling me stupid. I'm not stupid. Okay? I'm just kind of stupid. That's our only quest?
Ready.
There's so much going on.
Yes.
The stall stands empty. Deep ruts in the layered rugs hint at heavy furniture hastily removed from the last occupant. Let's talk to Prophet. What up, chick? In the shadows cast by the folds of this merchant's cowl, you glimpse hints of verdant chitin and amber mandibles erupting from pale human flesh. Her voluminous robes cannot hide the fact that her movements are off, as if too many joints inhabit too little space. But her voice is warm, a tumbling flood of spoken thoughts and impulses. A fair afternoon to you. Warm, isn't it? Something begins humming in one of her many pockets, and her brilliant, multifaceted eyes flicker toward an invisible point in the distance. Well, not as warm as it could be, but this is the warmest minute of the week, by a considerable margin. She trails off, but the hum continues. Oh, you have one of those tattoos, too. Anyway, can I interest you in some prime artifacts, dusty relics, Numenera of uncertain origin? She looks like that pale woman. No, you're right, Birdie. Not looks, smells. That's going to do it for today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Let's see what else happens in this city. If you liked it, please click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And I will see you next time.